Alright, let's talk to the old Slaffster. Pick up the next quest. Brave new companions. While you were away in Corthus, preparations for the inaugural ceremony were all but completed, although Tataru does yet seem somewhat flustered. I've taken enough of your time. Why don't you head into the Rising Stones and see if your frantic receptionist could do with a hand? Okay. Where are you? This way? Through the seventh heaven into the Rising Stones entrance. And Tataru is, or Tataru, however you want to pronounce it, is standing atop a chair at a desk. These parchments need to be sorted, and these documents, why are they even here? Oh, I am sorely tempted to file the lot in my waste paper basket. Ah, mercy, you startled me. You wish to lend a hand? Splendid! Would you be a dear and hand these uniforms to the new recruits? They're scattered about Revenant's Toll, and I haven't the time to track them all down. The recruits know to don their garb immediately and assemble here in the Rising Stones. You want to report directly back to Alphinaud if you don't if you don't wish to miss the ceremony. I wonder if the Scions will ever have matching uniforms. A well-funded organization is a well-dressed organization, I suppose. I don't know. Sure, probably. I guess that makes sense. 8? There are 8 new recruits? I only recruited 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 total? I don't know. We'll see. Also, that's why I've been going around. Okay, again, I've done this quest before in the past. I never understood why. Yu Hase is a Lalafell wearing mostly black, kind of like a pirate captain's kind of uniform, but with a skull cap, basically. Mostly black and brown, black and dark brown / grayish. Those who believe this company will see no riches are short-sighted fools. The giving of oneself is an investment in the future. Thus did I sign my name to the cause. Hand over an, what's it called? Ultramarine uniform. These uniforms were a splendid idea. Once our organization has made a name for itself, there shall be wealth aplenty in selling replica costumes to the adoring masses. Okay, sure, yeah, whatever you want to tell yourself. And then the next person is atop this battlement. Laurentius, hey, there you are. And he's with a bunch of others that are just like peering over the wall with their hand to their brow, like to scout. Alright. What are they doing? I thought it best to mimic my fellows here, but I admit that I have no idea what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, me neither, bud. Ah, our new uniforms. I'm reminded of my induction into the Wood Whalers. Yeah, you might not want to mention your history with the Wood Whalers there, Dudamus. Atop another kind of wall is Alian. Isildur has at last retired from the adventurer's life. Though I shall miss his wisdom and irrepressible spirit, I am excited to forge my own path forwards. Ah, yes, the uniform. Thank you. Truth be told, the thought of pledging myself to such a lofty organization is somewhat intimidating. Can't back out now. Or I guess you probably can. There's no real shame in it, I suppose. Where are you? Where's the next one? Are you up here? You are up here, okay. Here's Rio. Hello there, lass. Looking for me, was ye? I suggest giving a whistle, but I'm not sure I'd hear it amongst all the bustle. Hand over the ultramarine uniform. Oh, proper uniforms and all. This thing will cut off the blood to me head. Not to worry, though. I'm sure she'll be fine after making a few adjustments. Oh, I can't wait to see the adjustments. Here's Wilred from the Little Alamigo. Little Alamigo could learn much from Revenant's Toll, that this town can be so alive in the midst of such desolation. I've never worn aught quite so voluminous. Well, I'm sure I'll grow accustomed to the extra cloth in time. Me too, bud. FFXIV is a new name for me. Kind of yellow jacket, female, Elizin. Mercy Valkyr? Gods, I did not expect to meet you strolling about town. The tales of your primal battles were what inspired me to come to Revenant's Toll. 'Tis an honor to receive this uniform from your hands. I shall wear it with pride. I have no idea who you are, but I'm glad you're here. Ergmus. Good luck with this one. Aergmhus. Ergmus. Maybe Ergmus? I think Ergmus makes more sense. A Rogadin wearing, again, kind of a pirate captain's kind of uniform-ish thing. Red with kind of white and maroon shoulders. This scarlet garb marks me as a proud member of the Maelstrom and a hardy defender of Limsula Minsa. Yet in truth, I stand for the betterment of the realm and thought this new company a fine opportunity to contribute on a grander scale. Hand over the uniform. Oh, now that's a striking shade of blue. Put alongside my Maelstrom uniform, my wardrobe will certainly not lack for color. Sure, yeah, if that's what you want to say with your words. And then Ilberd. I don't super recognize you. Yeah, we haven't. I don't believe we've met. I am Ilberd, and I will have the honor of leading my fellow recruits as captain. Much did I lose to the calamity, and I look forward to aiding others in rebuilding their lives. If this is who I think it is, there's much to come from him. The uniforms are a shrewd decision. There is no easier method of creating a common bond among what is, essentially, a band of strangers. I agree, Ilberd. Dun dun dun. I'm not foreshadowing at all. I need to shave. I'm gonna do it, I believe, Friday after work, I think. Maybe Saturday morning before I go to do Uber Eats. I don't know. Got another D&D game on Saturday that will be privately recorded, so. Here's Alphinaud. Yes, Mercy? Ah, Tataru mentioned you were handing out the new uniforms. I assume you've now met the rest of the recruits? Some few answer the call to arms I put forth through the established grand companies and such. We are not yet an army, but there is much a small corps of elite warriors can achieve. Did I mention I thought of a name for the company? It is my hope that it shall soon be known across the breadth of Eorzea. The moment of truth draws near, Mercy. Once the last of the recruits have gathered, I shall make the official announcement. Cutscene, fade to black. Please tell me there's voice acting.
Comrades, your presence here this day signifies the momentous choice that each of you has made. With your strength now pledged to the scions of the Seventh Dawn, you are beholden to no single nation. You stand as the vanguard for a united Eorzea. From this moment forth, I declare you Crystal Braves. Let us mend this fractured realm and face our enemies as one. Whether it be the Beastmen and their primals, or the conflict in Carteneau, it is plain that the nations of Eorzea cannot solve the problems which plague the realm. Thus does it fall to some few heroic souls to succeed where they have failed. Come, take your place at the Scion's side as guardians of Eorzea, and together we shall fight for the freedom of all! For the freedom of all!
They're all just kind of standing around, talking with each other, and the scions.
A rousing speech, Alphinaud. Or should I say, Crystal Brave Commander Leveilleur.
Minfilia does the new salute, which is left hand kind of behind the back, parallel to the floor. Right hand kind of goes up, perpendicular to the floor, in a kind of fist salute thing.
Please, antecedent. The title is honorary. I shall not be leading the troops into battle, as it were. We are of the same purpose. Let us join hands and do what must be done to save this land.
The Scions stand ready.
Okay. Minphilia, cutscene, fade to black. Turning in the quest.
I'm eager to see what the Crystal Braves might accomplish. This shall prove an interesting time indeed for the Scions. Yes, I'm listening.
She gets a call in her ear.
So our worst fears are confirmed. The entire Isle. Such power defies comprehension. Truly? Kryl is alive? Thank the 12.
I have a feeling she's talking to, oh my god, what's his name? The hooded dude. Mostly into his books. Damn it.
I see. Pray, inform me if her condition changes. Yes, I shall pass on your words to Urianger.
I thought she was talking to Urianger. I'm wrong, apparently.
My thanks. I shall contact you anon. When I learned of the loss of the Isle of Val, I dared not hope that my friend had survived. Yet, by some miracle, it would seem she has. She's still to regain consciousness, it is true, but better that than death. Putting this happy news to one side, we must now endeavor to make sense of the readings taken by the survey party. It appears the etheric disturbance which accompanied the Isle's destruction is of a magnitude alarmingly close to that of Ultima. Could the Ascians be responsible for this devastation as well? I wonder. Have you heard aught from the Mother Crystal since the battle with the Garleans? Then she speaks to neither one of us. Heidelind's silence portends naught but ill, I fear. Louisoix, I pray you yet watch over us.
We'll take some gil from that, because the gear is beneath us. It's beneath me. And I got, oh, more cutscene. We're kind of on a... We're in Corthus. Snowy part. Lord Horchefant. With some of his inferiors. I don't know what else to call them. Underlings, whatever. Very good. See that the provisions are prepared for transport. Let us hope that this shipment is spared the fate of the last. And that lady walks off. The winds are uncommonly fierce this day. He's looking to the castle of Ishgard, or the castle that leads into Ishgard, I suppose. Which I don't think that I've been into on this character. Now we have a inside close-up of something, a castle of some sort. A circular tower, maybe? It's circular for sure. And inside this circular room, and it looks kind of castle-ish, is a king-looking figure in almost completely white, gold and blue, surrounded by a bunch of chainmail wearing and faceplate wearing troops with spears. The king is on a throne in the middle of the room with a staff. Oh shit, and there's an Ascian behind him. And another Ascian behind him. I believe that the one in white is whatever his name is, Edelberg. The king bangs his staff on the ground, and then a lot of the troops raise their poleaxes, whatever they're called, in like a line that people would like walk through, basically. And that's it. That's the end of that cutscene. I don't know what exactly we're supposed to be gleaning from that, but eh. Next quest is from Menphelia. Traitor in the Midst. Cutscene. Fade to black. Try as I might, I cannot shake a creeping sense of dark foreboding, but it avails us not to fret about the unknown. We must concentrate instead on the problems of the present. The primals have been relatively quiet of late, and the beast tribes who summon them are under constant surveillance by the grand companies. Should any suspicious activity be afoot, you may be certain that we will hear of it. And until such time as a permanent solution to the primal problem has been found, we can do little but wait and observe. As for the Ascians, Urianger is wholly dedicated to finding the means by which we may defeat the dark beings. Let us pray for good tidings on that front. But all of this you knew already. Let us speak then of more current matters, in particular the state of the Crystal Braves. Alphinaud did well to found the organization, but ensuring its smooth operation is another matter entirely. Though I doubt not that he is doing his best, I felt that a helping hand or two would not go astray. To this end, I offered to send one of the Archons to assist him, but he declined. You know how he can be, independent to a fault, and singularly loath to accept help. Save, of course, when that help comes from you. Alphinaud has entrusted countless matters of import to your care in the past, and I believe he would not hesitate to do so again, were you to offer. I should be most grateful if you would go to him and support him in whatever manner you are able. That'll do, lassie. Lass. Anyway, where's Alphinaud? Is he right outside? We'll find out. We'll find out after this short commercial survey. Commercial survey. Car ramrod. Alphinaud is indeed close by. Here's the thing, Grid. Just, thrusting his knife into the air, twirling it. Knife? Kukri? Dagger? I would call it a dagger, I suppose. It's got a curve to it a little bit. So I'd go more the knife route than dagger route, but I don't know what the difference is for sure in qualifying one as a knife and one as a dagger. What is it, Mercy? And do be concise, I am rather busy. You would lend a hand, you say? I see. Well, now that you mention it, there is a matter that wants for attention. Given its sensitive nature, I was hesitant to entrust it to my braves, but the demands upon my time are such that I had little choice. Which is not to say that my men want for labor. Though we are but newly formed, there is already a great demand for our services, and we are hard-pressed to answer all petitions, but I digress. The fact is, I would sooner attend to this particular matter myself, but my presence is required elsewhere. That being the case, I have entrusted its resolution to my second-in-command, Captain Ilberd. Tell him that I sent you, and he will furnish you with the particulars. My thanks in advance, Mercy. Captain Ilberd is just a little bit to the east. What? Nope, that's west. Still in the same room. Cutscene, fade to black. Oh my god, why is my neck being a butt? Whatever, I need to go see a chiropractor. Especially while
Hail to you, Scion. How might we serve you?
Well, I still have a good price on it. You tell him how.
Commander Leveilleur bade you serve us? These are welcome tidings indeed. Given the sensitive nature of the task, I could not rely on one of my own.
He looks both ways to see if the coast is clear to talk about it, I suppose.
That which I'm about to tell you, I tell you in the strictest confidence.
Yep, that explains it. You walk closer to
Some
him.
days ago, we received certain documents from an anonymous source. They notified us of the presence of a Garlean agent within the ranks of one of the grand companies. Following some discreet inquiries, we identified a suspect among the Immortal Flames, whom we detained for questioning. Alas, the man was not our agent. He was but one of many men in the agent's employ. We pressed the traitor for a name, but he had none to give. He claims never to have met his master, whom he knows only as the Ivy. He was, however, certain that this ivy had coiled itself around every part of the Immortal Flames. It would seem our quarry joined the company some time ago, and gradually recruited others to his cause. These conspirators are the vines by which he learns our secrets, all without exposing himself. It won't be easy to identify the ivy amidst this tangled mass of subterfuge, but we have a tendril in our hands, and we shall follow it all the way to the gnarled root. Now, much as I would prefer to proceed with due discretion, circumstances demand that this matter be settled post-haste. Garlemald's War of Succession nears its end, and it is feared that the Empire will soon resume its march on Eorzea. When it does, we can ill afford to have traitors in our midst. The ivy must be rooted out now. We must begin by apprising General Roban of our findings. I would ask that you accompany me to the Hall of Flames, and remain on hand to see that things go smoothly.
Y'all want to know what popped into my head? Root it out now. The Funk Show, brother. Check it out now. Yeah. Thus is my brain.
Assuming the ivy's tendrils are as widespread as we believe, he will be aware that an investigation is underway. And if that is the case, he may well move against us. We must be prepared for anything, while taking care not to betray our purposes by seeming prepared. A simple enough task for a one-woman army like you.
Yeah, I got skills. They pay the bills. They also kills. They also give thrills. I'm done. Okay, let's see. How much does it cost just to go to Thanolin from here? 346 versus... Yeah, we'll just do the free. Again, for the most part, I'm going to choose to save money. So I'll take my free teleport to Gridania and take the 120 gil airship to Thanolin, to Ul'dah. Instead of the 346 it would cost to teleport directly there from where I was. I have over 1 million gil. 1,037,000. But, you know, I have that much because I choose to save when and where I can. That's probably not true. I just have that much because that's how much you get while you go through the story quests and etc. Anyway, we have taken the 120 gil airship to Ul'dah. We go to the nearest telepoint, or Aethernet crystal, Aethernet shard, and then we take the one that goes to the Hall of Flames, which is the, I guess the main Aetherite Plaza is the closest. I have a super huge urge to either play my Final Fantasy XI Summoner, which is level capped, but not, like, decently geared, I suppose, but not nearly as well geared as I wished, you know, but still really decently. Like, most of the gear that you want for Summoner at those levels is to, you know, remove perpetuation costs as much as you can. In Final Fantasy XI, when you summon an avatar, or summon a summon, whatever you want to call it, that avatar has a perpetuation cost, which is the amount of mana, magic points, MP, whatever you want to call it, that it costs you to keep that avatar out per tick, and a tick is like 2.5 seconds in that game, so like per second, whatever, per tick, per second, however you want to think about it. And a lot of the gear that you get will remove that perpetuation cost bit by bit. So like -2 perpetuation cost, -3 half perpetuation cost per depending on the element of the avatar, things like that. And then beyond that, you also want, I think avatar. There's specific gear to buff avatars' buffs and buff avatars' attacks and accuracy and defense and all that fun stuff. Not really for hit points, but, you know, I think attacks, accuracy, maybe total damage percent, something like that. So yeah, but for the most part, you have things called blood packs, right? In the beginning of Final Fantasy, when Summoner was first released, you had one blood pack you could use every minute, and it was across all avatars. So if you used it for Carbuncle, you'd wait a minute to use it on any of the other avatars for anything else they could do. And then they split that into attack and defense, I'm pretty sure, or offensive, defensive, whatever, something like that. So you had your offensive avatar blood packs, which would do damage directly to enemies. Then you had your defensive, which would do a buff generally, or a heal, or a removal of status effects. And yeah, that's the division that exists now, and they're both on 1 minute timers, separate from each other. So you can like summon Ifrit and do an attack thing with him, and then if you want to, right afterwards, you could do a buff with him, and so he'd attack and then buff the party, and then you'd be at a 1 minute timer for the buff, and then like a 95-second timer, or whatever it took for that, for the attack. You just have to wait. So you could summon another avatar to just do like melee hits, or when you reach a certain level of summoner, your avatars would have an aura about them. Like Fenrir would have, I believe it's accuracy. No, accuracy I think is Ramuh. So Ramuh's aura is accuracy, because like the thunder / lightning element was kind of associated with accuracy in the game. The wind element for Garuda would be associated with evasion. Fire was associated with attack. Earth was associated with from Ifrit. Sorry, Fire Ifrit. Earth from Titan would be associated with defense. Magic attack would be associated with ice, so Shiva. And magic defense, I think, was one also. I can't remember who that'd be associated with, but I think if you had Diabolos out, that would be mana regen, or refresh. In that game it was called refresh. So like your MP would tick, like you'd gain NP every tick. I think Fenrir was maybe a combo of accuracy and evasion. Who am I forgetting? There's earth, fire, wind, thunder / lightning, water, Leviathan. Okay, so Leviathan was magic defense. There you go, water. So attack, accuracy. There's also magic accuracy. There's magic attack and magic accuracy. And I think maybe Fenrir was magic accuracy. And magic attack was Shiva. You could also summon Carbuncle, which I don't remember what. I think Carbuncle it was like a regen effect, so health over time, I believe. And I can't remember the other ones you could summon that had an effect on them like that. But I have them all. I had all the I don't think I ever unlocked Alexander. So Alexander and Atamos, I believe, are both grand summons. You summon them, they do their effect or ability or whatever, and then they disappear. Sorry. Odin and Alexander are those two. Atamos, I'm actually not entirely certain that Atamos was summonable, but I think he was. I don't remember. Been a while. Been a long time since I played that game. By a long time, I probably mean like a year and a half or 2 years. But anyway, I'll finish this quest now. Sorry. Here's Raban outside the kind of in the Eternal Flames. Immortal Flames? Immortal Flames.
Well, well. What brings you here, my friend?
She is here at my behest. Greetings, Raban. It has been a while.
Hilbert, you old scoundrel. When they told me you'd be visiting, I scarce believed my ears. But look at you! The honored captain of the Crystal Bloody Braves. Who'd have imagined, eh?
I forgot. A lot of your gear would also be avatar, something similar to, I don't remember the exact wording, but avatar action, or avatar, I think probably avatar blood pact delay minus. So instead of a minute for your blood packs, it would subtract a second, 2 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever, depending on the gear that you had. And if you had enough gear, I think you'd get your blood packed delay. So the amount of time that you'd have to wait between blood packs of a certain type, so attack or defense, I think you can get it down to 20. So you would summon Ifrit, for instance. You would do your Ifrit would have attack bonus, so you do an attack bonus blood pact. So your group who is in range for the attack bonus would get that. You could either dismiss him, or you could keep him and do his attack blood pact, which the blood packs from avatars for the most part can skill chain with other members of your party. Skill chains in that game were so cool. They looked so fun. Like, they looked great. They had great animations. And then you could do, like, there were level 1, 2, and 3 skill chains. Level 1 would be like fire plus stone, fire plus earth, and would equal fire, earth, whatever. Usually it's one of those two. And then from there, you could say, okay, I'm going to add light to that, and it would create fusion, which is fire and light. And then you could add like a level 3 weapon skill that would do like a darkness component. So you'd go from that light to like level 3 darkness. Like, you could just go chain upon chain upon chain, and then you can go back and forth from light to dark, like the massive level 3 light to massive level 3 darkness. And then you could magic burst. So like your spellcasters, like red mage, black mage. I think blue mage had some. Blue mage had a bunch of spells that could magic burst. Scholar had spells that could magic burst. Geomancer, I think, had spells that could magic burst. I'm probably missing some because it's been a while. But all of those jobs could magic burst off of those skill chains, and then you could just keep going if you're building enough TP, tactical points, to continue weapon skilling, to continue skill chaining. And with enough gear, so you could get gear that had multi-attack on it. So instead of attacking once per time frame, you would attack twice or thrice. So every time you attack doing that, you gain the normal amount of one attack worth of TP. But since you're attacking twice or 3 times or whatever, you would gain triple or double or triple that amount of TP. Plus you had haste, so you attack faster. Plus you had attack delay was less good than haste because it would make you attack faster, but it would also reduce the amount of tactical points you got per hit. Haste would make you attack faster and not reduce the amount of tactical points you got per hit. So you'd prefer haste. But for doing more damage over time, either haste... Well, again, haste is better because you can do more weapon skills. But weapon delay minus or subtraction would also make you do more normal hit damage over time. And normal hit damage is good in that game. Like, it actually mattered in that game. Versus other games where your white damage, which is just your normal hit damage, generally doesn't matter. It's what matters is usually your abilities or weapon skills or spells or whatever. But it actually mattered what your normal damage per hit was in Final Fantasy XI. Even through Endgame. But I guess it didn't matter as much sometimes if the things you were facing just really didn't take a lot of damage from normal attacks. Then your goal would be to build TP as fast as possible, to skill chain as much as possible. And then if only skill chaining was the goal, skill chains alone do a lot of damage. But if you allow magic bursts on top of those skill chains, then even more damage depending on the situation. Back in like the older days of Final Fantasy XI, skill chains and magic bursts during experience points parties were pretty great to have. But at some point in time, it just became more efficient for once you reach 100% TP, tactical points, just unleash your weapon skill. Like, don't worry about making a skill chain because I guess efficiency wise it was just better to unleash that damage than to wait for it and to build the skill chain from it. Especially because some classes build TP faster, like Samurai, because they have built-in TP passives that, more TP per hit kind of thing. And then jobs with more native built-in accuracy from passives, again, like Dragoon, Ranger, I can't remember what else got like native accuracy from passive traits, but anyway, I miss that game. It's a slow game, but the storylines are fantastic, and the range, like every job is just so different from each other. Whereas in Final Fantasy XIV, the differences are not as pronounced. Like in this game, you play Dragoon differently, then you play Ninja, then you play Samurai. They have positionals which matter, and in Final Fantasy XIV, position really didn't matter. If you were DPS, you stood behind the monster. That's it. In this game, you have to be behind, depending on your job, for some weapon skills, some abilities. You have to be to the side for other abilities. Like Monk in this game has to dance from the side to the back. Samurai has to dance from the side to the back. The rest of them might have positionals, but I might not have got far enough in those jobs to notice what they are. But like in this game, in Final Fantasy XIV, a summoner feels a lot like a black mage in a lot of respects, except for all of the black mage's spells so far are longer cast times, but like you both feel like nukers, so you just kind of stand there and cast. Whereas in Final Fantasy XI, a summoner wasn't really much of a nuker. They could pull out their avatars. The avatars could magic burst if somebody else made a skill chain. The avatars could participate in skill chains to make skill chains. The avatars could buff party members. The avatars could heal party members. The avatars could remove status effects. They could one of the, like Alexander's buff is called, I think it's called Perfect Defense, and it just ridiculously raises your entire party's magic defense stats. I think it's what you would pull up if you knew a giant hit was coming, a giant area of effect hit was coming from a monster or an enemy, whatever. And like the pet jobs in Final Fantasy XI are just so much cooler than they are in 14. Like for instance, there's really only one pet job in 14, and it's kind of scholar slash summoner, kind of. They both have pets, but they're really passive. Like you could say that the summoner, they summon Ifrit, they summon like a little Ifrit, a little Titan, a little Garuda, and then I think later on they summon like a little Bahamut, but they're not as impressive. They're just part of the rotation versus being entirely situational. Like, what buffs do I want in my party? How long do those buffs last? Which buffs are going to be best for this particular encounter? Can my avatar skill chain in a good way with party members that I have? And like, it really depends on your party build. Like Titan might be able to skill chain super well with a warrior in your party, but then you don't have a warrior in your party, so Titan isn't going to be good with their weapon skills. So you gotta like, okay, who goes really well with the weapon skills of this ninja? Or who goes really well with the weapon skills of this samurai? So you have to pick your avatar. If your avatar is going to participate in a skill chain with your party, you have to know the skill chains, and they're not straightforward in general. There's a skill chain chart, and it's gigantic. And it's like, I think they also made somebody genius made a skill chain calculator, so you could say you have what jobs do you have in the party, and then what avatars do you have available in the party, and then what blue spells do you have available for the blue mage spells do you have available for the party? And then the calculator would tell you, okay, these are the skill chains you have available to you. And then somebody else made an add-on for Final Fantasy XI, which literally, if somebody does a weapon skill on a monster and you have the add-on and you have a weapon skill that would create a skill chain with them, or if you had an avatar that could create a skill chain with them, it would show you in chat, or it'd show you in some box for a period of time. But anyway, like, some cool shit that people made as add-ons. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this quest. I'm so sorry I've been rambling on.
Not many, but fewer still would have imagined your destiny lay in politics, old friend.
Aye, we've both come far, have we not? Lest you wonder, Ilbert and I go back a long way. We've been friends and rivals since we were lads.
There seemed to be some animosity here. They were kind of just not talking and staring at each other for a long period of time, which could just be explained by how Square Enix decided to play this, as far as your participation, but I don't know.
The last time we saw each other, Alamigo had just fallen, so you can guess how many summers it's been. And in all that time, not a word from the fool.
Ah, well, my dealings tended toward the modest and mundane, unlike some I could mention. As I hear it, no sooner did you reach Thanalan than the brass blades clapped you in irons and dragged you off to die on the blood sands. Being a stubborn sort, you won 1,000 matches and earned yourself a place in the people's hearts while you were about it. Then, with your mountain of prize money, you bought the Colosseum and secured a seat on the Syndicate. Those balls, brother! Rags to riches does not do it justice. You're a hero to the common man.
Raban also has the scars to prove it on his face and neck.
Pah! Spare me. I am no hero. If anyone is worthy of that title, it's our friend here. Next to her, I'm little more than a glorified butcher. But you, Ilbert, you sell yourself short. By all accounts, you are an adventurer of some standing.
I like to think that I did my part for the greater good. But if you're no hero, then I'm no adventurer, not in this company. Anyway. I have tidings.
So there has been progress. I've let it be known that this meeting is a reunion between old friends. None will give your visit a second thought. To convene elsewhere would only attract attention. Let us speak here, in plain view of all. So it is we who have been compromised.
If you're wondering why I was quiet for a minute, it's because they were just like conversing and we didn't get to be privy to any of it for whatever reason.
Teleji Adeleji's machinations have shaken Ul'dah to her foundations. In such uncertain times, a man's loyalty may be bought for a fistful of gil. But if this snake has truly been in our midst for as long as you say, we must needs consider a far graver possibility. Conspiracy. Could it be that the Monetarists have been in league with the Empire from the first? Very well. I will have my most trusted men investigate the matter. Continue your inquiries in the meantime. It does me well to see you again, old friend. When next we meet, let it be over a flagon of ale.
I look forward to it. Let us reminisce of bygone days and drink to the future of our homeland. Flame General. You wear the mantle well, old friend. I must work hard if I'm to keep up. Well, it would seem your services were not required after all. I dare say we have Roban's prudence to thank for that. Still, I was glad of your presence. My thanks, Scion.
We will take some gil from this, since again I am out leveling. I have out leveled the gear that's given for this quest. And that's the end of this long video. I apologize for the rants. I cannot say it won't happen more, because that's just me. But if I'm not reminded of my love for Final Fantasy XI, then odds are the rants won't happen as much. We'll find out. But till next time, I'll be seeing you. I'm trying this thing where I stare into the camera more. Smoldering, as it were. Okay. This is awkward. So bye.